Life is too short for you to spend majority of your waking hours at a job you hate. A bulk of my clients that I get in my coaching practice are people who are in a transition between working for someone else to transitioning into entrepreneurship. However, I do want to give you guys some tips and tools in what to do when you hate your job. Okay, so the first thing that I want to say to all of you is don't quit yet. I know it sucks. I have been there before in my life, okay? Spending hours and hours and hours, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 hours a day at a job that you hate really sucks the life out of you. But at the same time, if you don't have a proper plan, it's probably not the best thing for you to do. So first things first, you need to figure out what it is that you hate about your job. Okay, so thinking about and really getting honest with yourself about it. Is it the people? Is it that you don't make enough money that you can't buy things for yourself, or is it you? Are you the common denominator? Do you hate every single job that you come across? Maybe the problem is you. Maybe it's the fact that you don't find happiness in whatever it is that you do. Maybe you're going through a tough time right now and your job is just one of the things that is making it challenging and you're hating it because you hate everything else in life. So really get honest with yourself and ask yourself the question, what is it about my job that I hate? If it's the job itself, if it's the people, if it's you that you're going through a rough time, that will give you some clarity in seeing what else you can do and form a proper plan for yourself. The second tip is to think about what it is that you do love about your job. Maybe it doesn't all suck. Maybe there's certain things that you can do to kind of keep the days going as you transition yourself to something else. Um, Maybe you love the people there. Maybe you love the fact that you get to work outside. Maybe even at the worst jobs, like there are certain things that you love about it. Maybe you get free food. There could be certain things that you really enjoy. And the last thing is to ask yourself the questions like, what would make me happy? What would make me happy? Is it that you want to work with people, you want to help people transform, you want to you want to make a lot of money? Maybe that's what makes you really happy, and you feel like your job is putting a cap on that. Maybe you love the outdoors and you want to be around flowers. Like really ask yourself the question, what would make you happy? Because I get this all the time when I'm working with people, whether they're my clients or just people I come across on a regular basis. Because I'm an entrepreneur, a lot of people always ask me, what kind of business? I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to be my own boss, but I don't know what business to get into. And here's the thing. Being an entrepreneur, I'm an entrepreneur and I started my business 10 years ago, but not 10 years ago, 10 months ago. Feels like 10 years, but it's 10 months ago. And I spent 12 years of my life in the corporate world working for someone else. So I do have experience on both sides. Being an entrepreneur is the best thing in the world. I do believe that. It is the best thing in the world. If you have an idea, if you see a future that does not exist yet and you can create that, it is the most amazing thing in the world to do. However, it is the hardest thing to do. It is the hardest job I've ever had in my entire life. There are so many moments in an entrepreneur's life that you're constantly doubting yourself. You don't know when money is coming in. You don't know if you're doing the right thing. You know everything is going to fall on you because, yes, you don't want to have a boss, but you are the boss and everything falls on you. It is one of the hardest things to do is to be an entrepreneur. And you could ask anybody. And I've had conversations with people who said that who are currently working for someone else. It's like, no, I don't believe that. I believe that if I have the passion and the perseverance, it's going to be easy. No, it's hard. That's why you require the passion and perseverance. So that way you could weather the storms. Okay, so all of that misconceptions about entrepreneurship that I have cleared up. Now, if you still tell yourself that, you know what, I know it's hard. I know it's going to be grueling. I know it's not easy being your own boss, but I still want to do it. It's in my blood. I want to do it. I want to create a vision in this world that does not exist yet. Then great. entrepreneurship is for you. So a couple of things about figuring out what kind of business it is that you really want to create in this world is finding out what comes easy for you. Like, what are the things that just lights you up? What makes you happy? So before I became an entrepreneur and started my own business, what I did was, when I was in the corporate world, one of the things that made me really happy in my job was to work with people and helping people and kind of helping them with their problems and come from a place of problem resolution as much as I could. And I started like shifting a little bit closer to facilitating meditation groups. I started facilitating different, I was part of the happiness committee. So I really thought that, this is something that makes me very, very happy. But I didn't have a business idea yet. So the best thing for you to do is to really just test it out. Keep your full-time job. Keep your full-time job. I know you hate it. Keep your full-time job because you have the security of that income coming in. And the second thing is to really, really test it out. If you want to go out there and bake cookies, if this is something you want to do, you want to have a bakery. So why don't you go and sell it at a farmer's market on the weekends while keeping your full-time job, and to see if your idea actually works. Because to be honest with you, I'm an entrepreneur and I work with entrepreneurs and I know a lot of them. Usually your first idea does not work. That's the truth. My first idea in entrepreneurship was to be a speaker, and that did not work out for me. It didn't work out for me because it's not something that I really wanted to do. It wasn't until I tried it and I spoke at one of the biggest stages in the world at TEDx, that's when I realized that, is that all there is? This is it? This is being a speaker? And it didn't actually make me that happy. Now, what made me really happy was being a coach. And I realized that, you know what, I'm going to double down on this and I'm going to focus on this. This is what I'm good at. This is what I want to get good at. This is what brings me joy. This is what I think about every single waking hour of the day. This is what I want to do. So understand that your first idea may not be the idea that takes off. Usually it isn't, unless you become very lucky. So just to quickly recap the 3 things to do when you hate your job. Number 1 is figure out what is it exactly that you hate about your job. Number 2 is, what do you love about your job? Maybe there's certain things that you love that you could potentially turn into a business or go somewhere else to find a job. Because, ultimately, I'm an entrepreneur, so I'm a little bit biased, but maybe for you, the answer is not to be an entrepreneur. For you is to find a different company that is more aligned with your own values, and taking that, what you really hate about your job and what you love, you could kind of combine the list and find a company that will work for you and find a job that will work for you. Maybe you need to go back to school for some training, but you need to find clarity around it. And the last one is, if you are going to take the route of an entrepreneur, then you need to test it at the smallest scale possible, because this happens often, right? You burn your bridges, you sell everything, you remortgage your house and do all of that, and your first business idea does not take off. How many times have we seen this on Dragon's Den or Shark's Tank, that people have completely sold everything to pursue their idea and it's just not working out? And that's hard. We live in a world where money is important, and if you don't have it, if you're broke, like, there's nothing else you can do. So make sure that you test it at a small scale, because your first idea potentially will not work out. That's just generally the way it is. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I want to leave you all with this. I started off by saying life is too short to spend all your waking hours at a job that you hate. There is a way out of it. You just need to have a plan. And you know what? The reality is, you are an amazing human being and you deserve so much more. And you deserve spending the majority of your waking hours doing something you absolutely love. Whether if that's a job or a business, it doesn't matter. You deserve to have that happiness every single day. Anyways, guys, I'm going to take off. Have an amazing morning, and I will see you guys tomorrow morning at 9:30 for another edition of Coach's Corner. Bye-bye, guys.